Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. Rocking and rolling into quarter number 2, hour number 2, as we are getting set for the NFL draft round 1 tonight. Packers don't have a pick, but still, we could get excited for this. If you are a fan of whether it is the Packers, the Lions, the Bears, Vikings, Cowboys, whatever the case may be, we're throwing out a couple questions to you. Your best draft pick in team history, who would you go? Lions, is it fair to say it's probably Barry Sanders, I would assume? Maybe you throw a little Micatron into there too or such. But Bears, Vikings, or again, Eagles. I know we got Eagles fans. Who's your best draft pick all time? Who's your most underappreciated pick? How about I throw another wrinkle into this? Not the worst pick of your team's history, but the biggest miss. So for a lot of teams, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. A lot of teams could say their biggest miss was bypassing Aaron Rodgers. For Green Bay, I know probably more casual. Recent Packers, younger Packers fans may say TJ Watt, the Kevin King. I still might go to the 1989 draft, and that was the Tony Mandrich draft. Dallas had the number 1 pick, Troy Aikman. Tony Mandrich was number 2. Number 3 was Barry Sanders. Number 4 was Derek Thomas. Number 5 was Deion Sanders. So there was a couple misses with that too. So, but the thing is, when we talk about that, Tony Mandrich was going to be a top 5 pick regardless. Whether it was the Packers or whether it was Detroit or Kansas City, he was going to be a top 5 pick. So that's the thing. I think sometimes it's a good reminder that we look at those as like, oh, that was a major bust or worst pick, or a lot of other teams would have done the same thing too. So, you look at, I still remember the Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf draft. That's one of my very first drafts I remember as a kid, because it was the debate. Is it going to be Peyton? Is it going to be Ryan Leaf? It was like, don't know. Now it's easy to say, like, holy crap, that's a wide, but it's okay. The Colts could have easily drafted, Ryan Leaf, and things would be completely different. So a lot of other teams would have made that same pick. But unfortunately for some of these teams, they get, they get labeled with that because they're the ones who made it and didn't work out. So, but let us know. Let's have some fun with this on this. Let's have some fun on this draft day, shall we? And Surveyor, I think I'm going to have to put you in timeout because Surveyor a little bit earlier saying, worst sports movie is Draft Day. Let's be honest, the only reason you watch DK is because your idol Sam Elliott plays Wisconsin's football coach. Well, first of all, don't ruin it for everybody if they haven't seen it. Second of all, Sam Elliott deserves an Academy Award for that performance for Best Supporting Actor. And no, you cannot say it is the worst. I could give you a few other sports movies that are way worse than Draft Day. Rocky V comes to mind. Mighty Ducks 3 comes to mind. Caddyshack 2 comes to mind. There's way, 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 way many more worse movies than Draft Day. Anything that has Sam Elliott in it is gold, including the cinematic classic Sam Elliott. I got to know if Surveyor's ever watched this one. The Man, it's a movie. I have it on DVD. Actually, I have it on Blu-ray. I invested a little bit of money on this one a few years ago. The Man Who Killed Hitler and the Bigfoot, starring Sam Elliott. It's literally a movie. I don't know why in the world Sam Elliott signed on to do that movie, but he did. And apparently he is the one who killed Hitler and Bigfoot.
That's crazy.
So if you haven't seen it, I got it. If anybody wants to borrow it. So it's a legit movie. There's a weird scene between Sam Elliott and Bigfoot fighting. I'll just say that. But The more I say that movie title, the more I just I can't believe somebody came up with that.
Yeah.
Hey, I guess it's better than Hollywood trying to remake all these movies. They're trying to do a bunch of other stuff. So, but can't say that I have. Oh, Surveyor, you need to look it up, man. You need to look it up. It's a fantastic movie that was missed out on the awards list. So, yeah, I agree, C-Bomb. Says next Surveyor will say Jerry Maguire is a bad movie. Shunned. So, that's kind of a draft-related. Have you seen Jerry Maguire, youngster?
I don't think so.
That's a draft-related one on there because he loses the number 1 pick the night before the draft. Another solid kind of NFL draft one. So, keep those coming, all right? Let's celebrate a little draft. I've got my draft shirt from last year on, donning that. It's the only shirt I got from the draft.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I would have gotten a quarter zip now. They had, because it was cold, they had these sweet, they're so expensive on eBay, but the volunteers or the workers of the draft had these sweet winter starter quarter zip jackets. Draft Green Bay themed.
Oh, wow.
You got to spend like $500 on eBay if you want a used one right now.
Wow.
God, I want one. But, man. That sounds way better of a movie than Draft. Oh, wait till you watch. It's interesting. Yeah. I might have to pop it in maybe next week and then do a little watch of it again. So, but it is a Takeover Thursday too. So if you got a topic that you want to throw out there to discuss, hit us up. All right. Since we're talking a little draft here, intern Carter, one of yours was, what would it take for the Packers to trade up into the first round? We kind of touched on that a little bit with C-Bomb's question. I think, again, a lot of it would depend on where in the first round. Let's use Seattle's. So I'll bring up the draft value charts, the infamous draft value chart. I mean, there's different ones out there, so I will do the one from overthecap.com, the Fitzgerald Spielberger, whoever these guys. So, okay, this is the draft value chart that they got. So let's say number 32 is worth, they have 1,244. Green Bay would have to trade, say, their second round pick, which is 998. And what's their third round? Do you still have that up? Their third round is 84. Okay. 84 is worth 755. Okay. You don't have to give up one. Maybe a third. What's fifth round? That's 153. Maybe a third and a fifth. Yeah. I think they'd still want more than that, probably like a third, fifth, and a seventh, if we do the math on that. Let's say it's a third, fifth, and a seventh to move up for number 32. You willing to do that?
That depends, I think, on the player.
Yeah.
That you're getting there. I know the corner out of Tennessee, McCoy, is falling down draft boards, so if he's there, I mean, he was a projected top 10 pick a couple weeks ago, so if he's there, I mean, go for it, but we don't need to trade up and draft no lineman.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of depends on the player, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot is going to depend on the player. I think. I don't know if a third and a fifth. I think you'd have to include that second. It'd probably be the second and maybe like a fifth round pick.
Would you trade a second and a fifth?
No, not for 32. I don't think I could. I just
yeah.
No, I don't think I can. Again, it depends on so much on the player though too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody really falls down, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say at this point. But I would right now. I'd say no. I'd almost rather have if they could figure out a way to get another second round pick. If they could get 2 second round picks tonight, or even 2 third round picks. Go with a 2-3-3 or a 2-2-3. I'd rather have that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. So keep those questions coming. All right. Okay, Surveyor and C-Bomb, go move to your own chat room. I'm not going to be a part of your bantering or your bickering back and forth. So, hey, Tom's tuning in on our video chat. Tom from across the pond, our resident Lions fan. Biggest miss for the Lions was taken. Oh, I remember Eric Ebron. Yeah, at number 10. When a lot of the fan base wanted either C.J. Mosley or Aaron Donald to help with the defense.
Aaron Donald would have been nice.
Yeah. Boy, I forgot about Eric Ebron. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Good pull. Aaron Donald. The fact that he lasted as long as he did. And now you look, he could probably still play. Heck yeah, he probably could. So I think the Packers draft pick that year was Clinton Dix, if my memory serves me correct.
I love that, man.
You like Clinton Dix?
For a little bit, I did.
Yeah?
I did. He was my favorite player. I got a jersey. I think more of his name may have gotten me, but he was an all right safety for a little bit.
I've interviewed him and such. He's a really cool dude. He's a really cool dude. So it's cool that I think he's still with Alabama football working with them.
I think so, yeah.
Not quite sure, but yeah. Because I remember that draft, and we really needed to see. Who was the other safety in that draft? It was between him. Oh, I got to look it up now. It was the 2014 draft. Because the Jets, I think, picked the other safety. I think the Jets picked him. Let's go. Calvin Pryor, that's who it was, the other safety. Yeah, the Jets picked him before Clinton Dix was picked, so he was the 18th pick. But look at this 13 draft. Jadeveon Clowney was the number 1 pick. Greg Robinson, Blake Bortles, Samuel Watkins. Then you had guys like Khalil Mack at 5, Jake Matthews at 6, Mike Evans at 7, Odell Beckham Jr. at 12, Aaron Donald, C.J. Mosley. This was Devontae was in the second round of that draft too. Yep, Devontae was pick number 53. So there you go. Kind of similar to where Green Bay's at this year. But yeah, Derek Carr was in the second round. I remember that draft too. Jimmy G, that's right. He was a second round pick by the Patriots. Everybody was freaking out about that too. So, good pull. Good pull. Okay. Keep the draft stuff. Could the Packers just trade every third round pick for the next 10 years because a 20% hit rate is yeah. No, that might be the weak spot so far for Goody. If you could trade his third and another pick for another second round pick, I'd be good with that. So, all right. Let's take a quick break and switch gears here for just a little bit and talk some Brewers baseball as we get set for Game 3 with the Tigers. It's going to be a tough one, though, because Tariq Skubal is on the mound for Detroit. We'll look at last night's game and preview Game 3 coming up after these quick words. Spring is here in Eau Claire, and that means it is the perfect time to freshen up your home at Carpet City Flooring Center. Now is the season to take a look at what's under your feet and imagine what it could be. From soft, comfortable carpet that makes any room feel cozier to luxury vinyl planks and tile built for busy homes, there's something for every space, every budget, and every lifestyle. Maybe it's one room that needs a refresh, or maybe it's time for a full home update. Either way, their team is there to help guide you through it all, from choosing the right style to professional installation that you can count on. Because spring isn't just about cleaning out the old, it's about bringing in something better. A brighter space, a cleaner look, a home that feels new again. So if you're ready to upgrade this season, stop in and see what's possible. Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire, where your next project starts from the floor up. Brewers falling last night to the Detroit Tigers 5-2. We've got Chad Patrick picking up his first loss of the season. DL Hall was the opener going the first 2 innings. Chad Patrick coming in to pitch 4 more, gave up 4 earned runs. Rodriguez wrapping it up with the final 2 innings. So now the Brewers sitting at 13-10 on the season, looking to secure another series win, but it's gonna be a tough one because they've got Tariq Skubal They're going to be going up against this afternoon. Brandon Sproat coming off easily his best start with the Brewers this year. That April 16th game against Toronto, where he went 6 2/3, giving up 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk. A little bit of experience going up against Skubal from the Brewers side of things. The most is Sanchez, 10 career at-bats, but he's got an 0 for average and a 231 OPS. Terang, in 5 career at-bats, is hitting 400 against him. And then that's pretty much, it's like 1 game where Joey Ortiz has 6 career at-bats against him, but he's 0 for all across the board. Frelick, 4 at-bats, 0 for across the board. Contreras, 1 for 3 against him here, too. And now Skubal is 3-2 with a 2.08 ERA. He is coming off of a win, actually back-to-back wins. Latest one was on the 18th against Boston, where he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and 10 strikeouts. So far this season, in 5 games, he already has 33 strikeouts. So, how you feeling about the Brewers' chances going up against Skubal today?
It's hard to kind of do this game just because you don't really know what you're going to get from Sproat. Mm-hmm. I think, he's pitched really well the last 2 times, like you said, but it's hard, again, because you're facing Skubal, and we haven't been able to score a ton of runs recently, besides our outburst of 14. But if they can play good defense, the Tigers aren't scoring a ton of runs either, so I think the key for tonight, or for this afternoon, is just going to see pitches. Make them work, and get them out in the 6th inning. Yeah. If you can get them out in the 6th inning, that's a win. Then you just go at their bullpen. And that's going to way you're going to beat them, because Skubal rarely gets beaten on himself.
The other thing, too, is not only is it Skubal, but it's lined up that Paul Skeens is going to get to start tomorrow for the Pirates going up against the Brewers. So you've got Tariq and you've got Skubal, or you've got, Tariq and Paul back-to-back. That's kind of how it's lining up right now here for the Crew. So I wish Jackson Churio, Christian Yelich, and those guys were able to play in this game, but this is where they're going to have to, I think, the biggest thing, try to get those pitch counts up.
Yeah.
Right? Try to get to the bullpen. Try to get those guys out. Now, the thing is, the Brewers have some experience, and they've done that against Paul Skeens, before, but, can they do it back-to-back games? Can they grind these at-bats? Can they maybe play some small ball to put pressure on that defense? The Brewers way or Murphy ball, whatever we want to call it, this day and age. So that's what it's going to have to take. There's a lot of pressure on Brandon Sproat to not let it get out of control, right? To have a game like he did in his last one against Toronto. But can this offense do something where they can? Because I think you're going to have to score more than 2 runs to win this game. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to do maybe something similar. Not saying you need 12 like you did in that first game, but you're probably going to need, 4, 5, 6 at least to win today's game going up against Skubal. And I think you got to get that pitch count up and make a play defense and put that pressure on. Play a little small ball. You might have to be aggressive and take some more chances. Be aggressive on the base pass. Get those guys on base.
Well, and if you give Sproat a lead to work with, it's going to be better not only for Brewers, but for his confidence to be able to know if he allows a solo home run, it's okay. But the Brewers could use a home run, 4 games without one now, and they could use just a Contreras home run or a Terang home run. Even if Sanchez gets into one, because we can't live. Last year we lived on small ball, but every once in a while you get the good home run. Mm-hmm. This year we're not getting as many home runs, and our small ball's not working as well.
Right.
So you're eventually going to have the big hit tonight or today.
Yeah. Quick note, too, Quinn Priester did get a rehab start last night for the Nashville Sounds, and it did not go well. He walked 3 batters, hit another, was charged with 4 earned runs after exiting the Sounds game with just 2 outs in the first inning. He got both of his outs via strikeouts, but threw 12 of his 29 total pitches for strikes. So Brewers had hoped to get 3 innings or 40 to 45 pitches from him, but did not go well. Murphy, yesterday afternoon before the Brewers game last night, said, I think still it's going to be a while. I don't think we can get our hopes up too high. The type of injury he had, not being able to face live hitters in a normal progression, I think it will be a minute. And really, not to downplay Quinn Priest or anything, they're kind of like, how is it going to fit, within the rotation? I don't know where that fits. Is it maybe, obviously they like Chad Patrick coming out with an opener. I don't know if that's the plan, but Priester was kind of like that too, where they had an opener and then Priester came in. So right now I don't want to say they don't need him, but there really isn't a glaring hole in the starting rotation at this point.
Kind of take your time, right? I mean, Priester sinker topped out at 91.2. That's not going to get it done on an MLB field. So, and his numbers were a little inflated because we had a reliever give up a grand slam immediately after he came out. But
right.
To walk all those, Sproat struggles with walks. That's why he struggled this year. You can't walk hitters in the MLB nowadays because they'll make you pay. And so as long as he can get his control back and get the speed of his sinker back, he can take his time because we have it. So
right. Yeah, and honestly, right now, I'd rather see Coleman Crow come back up anytime soon with that breaking pitch and that sinker or that curveball that he's got, because, man, that was fun to watch. Man, I just wonder how much does that – this might be a question for our doc tomorrow. How much does that affect his elbow, like the torque, just because of that – man, that break that he was having on it was special. That was a lot of fun to watch. And he'll be back soon, or at some point. I don't know if it'll be soon or not, but you look at that future for those, we talked about the future of these starting pitchers, and we didn't even mention Coleman Crow, and I don't want to put a lot of eggs in one basket for just one start, but you throw him in the mix now. You still got Logan Henderson, who is getting talked about as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate this year. Robert Gasser's down there in AAA. Those three, Miz, Patrick, Harrison, Sproat. Holy moly, they got some pitchers.
What do you think Logan Henderson's thinking right now?
I have no idea.
On almost any other team, he's in the MLB. He's a starting caliber pitcher. He showed it last year, but because we're so deep, he's not finding his way onto the roster. I just got to think he's like, what do I got to do?
Yeah, he just pitched 3 1/3 a couple days ago. 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks so far this year. Let me, these aren't completely. Okay, so he's got a .71 ERA in 4 games, 17 strikeouts in 12 and a 2/3 innings, 17 strikeouts. That's not bad.
No.
That's doable. Right?
I mean, and last year he played well, but...
Yeah, did he get off to like an undefeated? Was it like a ridiculous?
Yeah.
Was it 5-0?
Yeah.
I want to say 5-0.
I think so. And, I mean, what do you think he's thinking right now?
Wait your turn. I don't know, but like I feel good about their depth if they do have an injury. Obviously, they've got some options they can go to, but man, last year 2020 5 games. 3-0. So he paid, but 1.78. Yeah. I feel like a lot of it depends on turn through rotations, but you wonder if there is another injury. It's okay. So Brandon Sproat, we talked about Brandon Sproat last week. Was this going to be kind of, all right, he has to show something, otherwise maybe he gets sent back down, and he went out there and had a great game.
Yeah.
But what if he has a poor game today? At what point then do you say, okay, Logan, it's call him up? Because I feel like Coleman Crow's going to be a little bit, I think maybe we're probably going to see him again this year.
Yeah. But
Logan Henderson's got a little bit more experience and such. Because if we look at these 5 starters, I feel like Sproat is still wavering a little bit. Kind of hovering around that 5th spot in the rotation. It's not Harrison. It's not Woodruff. It's not Mizorowski. I still don't think it's Chad Patrick, even after yesterday. So it's still Sproat as the wild card, I think, in this thing. Now, if he goes out there today and pitches an awesome game like he did, Logan's going to have to wait his turn for a little bit. And I don't think, the easy answer, I think, for some people to say, well, just throw somebody in the bullpen and that. But then they got to change their approach, right? They got to change how they go about these games. And I don't want to do that. I want to keep guys their strengths, where they're best at. Priester could come out of the pen if he's ever ready because he's got that experience and such. But Logan's a starter, and I want to keep Logan Henderson as a starter. And I know the Brewers have brought guys into the pen like Woodruff and Burns before in that, but those were towards the end during playoff stretches. Right now, I kind of still want to focus Logan Henderson on being a starter.
Mm-hmm. I kind of wonder if the Brewers are anticipating an injury.
Yeah,
almost like we've got 3 capable starters in the minors. If Woodruff ever needs a break, because he likely will this year, if Chad Patrick or Miz, because he throws so hard. So I kind of wonder if they're like, because last year we had a ton of injuries with pitching, and our bullpen is kind of injured a little bit right now. But we really haven't had any starters besides Priester go down.
Yeah.
So,
and Harrison just missed that one turn through the rotation, but that was it. Because odds are there is going to be another injury. It's just it's going to happen. But I think they're definitely better situated for that than they were last year. So, all right, we got to take a quick break. Plenty more to get to. That Section 105 chat is rocking right now on YouTube. So join in. We've got Tom. We've got Chadwick, a.k.a. C-Bomb. We've got Matt over there, too. So join the crew over there. All right, chime in on that. We'll take a quick break and be back after these few words. Spring is here, and it is the perfect time for a fresh start and a new ride. Whether you are planning road trips, tackling weekend projects, or you're just ready for something new, now is the time to upgrade. And at Toyson Ford, you will find a great selection of trucks, SUVs, and cars built to fit your lifestyle and your budget. Plus, their team is here to make your car buying experience easy and stress-free. This spring, drive something that you love. That's Toyson Ford. Your next adventure starts there. Continuing some of our draft talk, if you're just joining in, we threw out a few questions. Favorite, or not, that's going to be my next one, but the best draft pick in Packers history or your favorite team's history is who? The most underappreciated draft pick in your favorite team's history. Who was a pick that you thought was going to be a really good pick, or you thought at the time was a really good pick and maybe it didn't pan out? So was there a player, it doesn't matter if it was first round or maybe later on, but was there a player that you thought was going to be a really good player that turned out not to be? There's a couple in my mind right away. It's Dayton Jones. I was like, I thought that was going to be a good one. I was high on the Amari Rodgers one too, and that didn't work out either. And then, the other one we threw out there too, your team's biggest miss was who or whom. So got a few questions out there for you to participate in here this morning. So hit us up. If you give me some good stuff there, I might throw a little prize package to you too. I'm in a good mood. It's draft day, so hit us up with some of your answers. Our good friend Tom says a lot of people on Twitter saying that the Lions blocked the Packers playing them in Munich. Would have had to get tickets for that one. I know they're not playing Munich. Ed Policy just did an interview with Cheesehead TV. He said he did say Munich's not in play. Paris still potentially open if the Packers do play overseas. So potentially Paris. So a lot of people, if you got to take the significant other, if they've always thought about going to Paris or dreamed or bugged you to go to Paris, here you go. If the Packers play in Paris, 2 birds, 1 stone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So get her done that way. But I don't know if I could fly. Have you flown before?
Nope.
Do you have a fear of flying?
I don't think so. Like, not right now.
I've flown before, but I don't think I ever want to fly again. I didn't really have a bad experience, but it's just like you might have to put some like Benadryl or sleeping pills so I can get through it. My anxiety would just probably be through the roof. That sort of. But I want to try. I want to go to Scotland. I gotta try to find a Loch Ness monster. That's what I want to do is over there, and then play some golf in Scotland because that's where it all started. So it is also. Enough is enough Thursday. I've got mine, but I'm going to do it just past the top of the hour, the 8 o'clock hour. So if you got a sports narrative, sports story where you're just like, enough is enough, let us know. Also, it's a takeover Thursday. What's a topic that you want to throw out there? Another one that our intern Carter had is Giannis a top 5 NBA player? You talking like currently right now?
Yeah.
Currently right now? Which, by the way, Giannis, I don't know where he was at. Did you, like on Instagram, I saw the other day, he posted a video, and he was like in, I don't know what floor of a building, but it was scanning the Deer District, and he said the Deer District should be packed right now, referring to that the Bucks should be in the playoffs and playing. So I don't know what building he was in right next to where the Bucks were playing, but I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, going back to, is he a top 5? I'd say yes. Who would I put in that top 5 right now? Shai Gilgeous, the Joker. I'm hesitant on Luka. That one's close. That one's open and he's top 10 for sure. Luka is, but I don't know if I'd go top 5. I'd probably put Anthony Edwards in there. I think that guy's really, I'd probably put would you?
It was hard for me, just because I don't know how to look at it like long term or for a season.
Right.
Because if we're looking long term, that's still hard.
Factor in age and that, yeah, for sure.
But if we're looking at one season, I think I'd rather have Steph Curry.
Okay.
You're just not like personal standpoint. Like
right.
Giannis is my favorite player. But from that kind of standpoint, and then so that's 4 for me, like you said, Ant, Shea, Jokic, and Curry. And then is he my 5th? Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum,
Victor Wembanyama, I'd probably put in there, yeah.
Luka. And so, this was brought up the other day, and I was going through it. I'm like, he may not be top 5 anymore. And a couple years ago, he was number 1, in my opinion, in the NBA over Jokic. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
Yeah, just right off the top of my head, I'd probably have 5. But if I thought about it, maybe I could find somebody else. But for sure, top 10, I'd say.
Yeah.
Tatum's in there, when he's healthy in that too. But right off the top of my head, it'd be like 5, between 5 and 7, 5 and 8, somewhere around there. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go lower than like 6 for sure.
Yeah.
But just top 5 is kind of like.
Is best right now SGA?
In my opinion, no.
Who'd be number 1?
I think Jokic is 1.
Jokic, yeah. Yeah. What he does for the position he plays is just, it's insane.
And I think Wemby's a little bit, Wemby's scoring is overrated. His defense is incredible.
It surprised the heck out of me that he was the first ever unanimous defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that nobody else was a unanimous choice.
Yeah.
Especially like all those guys that have won that award like 4 or 5 times or whatever it is. And Wemby's the first one, so.
But in an era of no defense, he's bringing it back. Mm-hmm. So I think he's a really good player too.
Yeah.
And I love Anthony Edwards. I think he's a top 5 player. The way he's able to carry the Timberwolves. So Shea is good. He's a really good player, but the fouls, man, it just puts a damper on his legacy almost. Mm-hmm.
All right. Tell you what, we got to take our final break here. We'll wrap up the second quarter and head into halftime. We'll take a quick break here and then wrap up the second quarter, get into the third hour. Don't forget, we got Jake joining us. So if you got any questions outdoor related for our DNR warden, please let us know. All right. Text it on over 715-830-1912. Quick break, and we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. As the fields come back to life, it's time for spring sports in the Chippewa Valley. Whether you're stepping up to the plate or hitting the track or getting back on the field, make sure that your body is ready to perform. At Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, their team specializes in keeping athletes of all ages healthy, strong, and in the game. From injury prevention to expert care and recovery, they've got you covered every step of the season. Don't let pain keep you on the sidelines. Get back in the game with confidence. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better, playing stronger, and staying in the game. Also, I want to just pass along a note too. Coming up on this Saturday at the Elbow Room, there is going to be a benefit going on to help out a family that their house had burnt down and such. So some family friends are putting together a benefit for this family. So if you have some time on Saturday to go over to the Elbow Room to help raise some funds to pay for some temporary housing and get their lives back together. And they were going to get ready to get married and such, and this tragedy happened. So they're raising some money to help out this family. It's going on at the Elbow Room on Saturday for Chad and Laura. Chad and Laura are their names. So some prizes they're going to be giving away. So big thanks to everybody who has donated for that. But again, if you got some time on Saturday to stop by the Elbow Room on April 25th, they're raising some money to help Chad and Laura to find some housing and to get their life and even their new marriage back on track too. So big shout out to everybody who's organizing that in the community for stepping up and helping that. So I like this. No name. Give me a name. If you're a first time texter, shoot me a name so I can give you some cred. Texter says, best draft pick ever in Packers history, Tony Mandrich. Why? No Tony. There's no Wolf. There's no Holmgren. There's no Favre. There's no Rodgers. So that's one way to look at that. We've got C-Bomb saying, I thought Bubba Franks was going to be a Hall of Fame type player. Hey, all he did was catch touchdowns. Derek Sherrod, too, thought he would be awesome. Fizzled out. I think that leg injury just really affected Derek Sherrod's career. So, Tom, going back to your comment where you said a lot of people on Twitter saying the Lions blocked the Packers playing them in Munich. I think that actually came from Ed Policy, the Packers CEO and president, because he did an interview yesterday with Cheesehead TV, and he made a comment saying that the NFL won't tell him, but somebody in the Lions organization protected that game, saying that they wanted the Packers and Lions to be a home game in Detroit. So that's kind of where that came in. We've heard that a lot for Packers games, that a lot of these teams want to protect their Packer road games because of Packers fans traveling and such. And I think for that one, too, it's a division game. Obviously, it's become a little bit more of a rival in the last few years. So that makes sense. I mean, I get it from a Lions standpoint, too.
Well, and they're going to need it. I mean, the Lions, after struggling last year, I mean, this division's really good, and so they could finish pretty far down the division. So any favorable thing they can get, they got to take.
Right. Yep. Exactly. So, all right. We only got a couple minutes left. So if you want, send us. Here's to kind of reset as we head into halftime. Coming up at 8:30, we've got 8:30. We've got Jake Bilks joining us for outdoor questions, for outdoor, answering your outdoor questions. So anything fishing or hunting related, please send those on over. 715-830-1912. We are taking your best Packers draft picks of all time, your most underappreciated draft picks of all time, and if you're a fan of another team, best draft picks of your team too. Not just Packers, but if you're a fan of another one, you can send those on over. The biggest miss, not necessarily the worst pick, but maybe somebody that was there on the board and your team should have gotten them, and now they're regretting it. And then who was maybe your favorite pick, maybe a pick that you really liked but didn't turn out that great. So send those on over. I know there's a few questions on there, but hit us up with that. So, all right. Okay, we got a couple minutes. We'll get back to some more. Also, it is Enough is Enough Thursday. So what's the sports narrative, sports story out there that you're just like, enough is enough? I'll hit mine up coming up just past 8 o'clock here this morning. Really quick, John says, why is it that the 4-letter network has never tried to push the Joker out of Denver like they did with Giannis and Milwaukee? I think a lot of people have kind of brought that up too and wondered that. Maybe one of the differences is that Denver is always kind of towards the top consistently in the Western Conference. I don't know. I really don't. I don't have an answer for you. I wish I did. So, but I know I've heard that before. Yeah, heck, I'd even throw Steph Curry. Golden State, maybe he should go somewhere. I get it's a market in that, but aging veteran, Golden State's not a championship contender. We hear that a lot. Why is nobody saying he should go to the Lakers or go to the Knicks or something to try to get a ring before he calls it a career? Don't really hear that with Steph Curry either. So, but don't think what helps is LeBron dissing Milwaukee a couple weeks ago either. That's just going to fill the certain media entities out there with that Milwaukee narrative, if you know what I mean. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut us off. We got some news updates. We are at halftime. We'll kick off the next hour with a little enough is enough. And Mike says, enough is enough with the severe storms this spring. Last Friday, the state of Wisconsin seen 13 tornadoes at touchdown, which is 4 more than the Badgers offense scored in the Big Ten play last year.